She'll be here. She just parked, so she's on her way. My dad's here too. He got here in time, even though his flight was delayed.
Ready for this?
Yeah.
Oh, we're live! Hey, is this Facebook or something?
Who needs a program?
I have one. Oh!
That's money.
I don't know what to do.
I don't either. Are we passing it down, or what are we doing with this thing?
Well, we could.
I don't know. We keep it.
Community in their time of need.
Such a good document.
Brittany, doing a pass is on.
All right. Cheese.
So, what's this supposed to be?
I think you take a picture. Hey!
Are we supposed to keep passing it down or
We're
back?
passing it down. Yeah. I think we're passing it around.
Supposed to pass this on.
Oh, hi. pass it on.
Take one down.
Oh, it's a big.
Oh, do you mind passing this on?
Oh, look at that.
Is this a video?
Are you passing it around?
Yeah.
This is cool.
You guys hear there's a... These guys, like this.
Guys, are we on video? What's up? There, pass it down.
Will become video.
What?
Keep going, keep going.
Yeah, this works for me. It's as smoky. Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Charles, passing this down. It's Facebook Live.
GoPro, come into your row.
Can't see us.
Going in that way. Now you can. All right, GoPro's coming to your row. You guys gotten it yet?
Good evening. I'm John Tomkowiak, the founding dean of the Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine. It's my privilege and honor to welcome our next class, family, friends, and all of you who are here to support them to the Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine White Coat Ceremony. There's a few folks here from the WSU administration that I'd just like to acknowledge. We have a number of the Board of Regents with us today, so thank you. And we have Chancellor Daryl DeWald, Provost Dan Bernardo, and President Kirk Schultz joining us as well, so thank you. You're in for an amazing evening, so let's get started. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce Chancellor Daryl DeWald, who's going to have a few comments for us. Thank you.
This is an exciting time to join the Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine. Because you are the second class of students, you will help to mold this school into what it will become for generations to come. So take that as an encouragement and a challenge. It's also an exciting time to be part of the WSU Spokane campus. Our health sciences campus, which is now home to 3 university colleges, has not only emerged as a regional health sciences education leader, but it's fast expanding its research activities, its attraction of world-class faculty and staff, and its development of partnerships with public and private sectors. This is an exciting time to be part of Spokane. This is a city experiencing tremendous growth. It's a city that is about partnerships and investments. Welcome to the Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine. You are our partners, and you're joining our community. Thank you for that. Now, please join me in welcoming the Washington State University Provost and Executive Vice President, Dan Bernardo.
Well, good evening. It's great to be here. Well, 60, the big 60. This is not about just welcoming you to the Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine and WSU Spokane, as the Chancellor just noted, but also about welcoming you to the WSU family. Now, many of you earn your undergraduate degree from WSU, and you know what that, yeah, you can whoop, that's okay. Go Cougs. So you know the power of being a Coug and what it means to be a Coug. Others of you have received your degree from other fine institutions, perhaps in the state or across the nation. But we want to welcome you to the WSU family as well. You are now one of us. You are now part of the Cougar Nation. And being part of the Cougar Nation is very special. Even Huskies recognize that. It really is a support network. It's a community. It's a place of belonging. And we want you to really live the Cougar experience. You were obviously selected for your incredible attributes and distinct accomplishments thus far in your life. And of course, your academic achievements. I want you to know that not only are we concerned about developing you as academic, but we are also concerned and aspire to develop you as a whole person so that you can be that physician, that healthcare professional that can really strive to address the most complex medical problems and health problems that our society faces now and into the future. While other medical schools and institutions might consider it great behavior for their medical students to compete. We expect you to cooperate with one another and be collegial. We believe, again, that this is the type of behavior that will make you better healthcare professionals. I want to wish you great luck in this journey ahead, and we will see you in 4 years. And it's my pleasure to introduce the 11th president of Washington State University, Dr. Kirk Schultz.
Well, good evening, and it's great to see everybody out here on really a celebratory occasion for so many folks. So let me start off by congratulating all the families and friends of our incoming class of medical students. Nobody ever gets anywhere by themselves. They always have a support network around them. People have been encouraging and prodding and just always being there for these particular incoming students. So congratulations to all of you, and please enjoy that tonight. This is really to probably about the third or fourth year, if you will, or maybe more, of really an incredible journey for Washington State University. The idea of putting forward another medical school in the state of Washington was really put forward by the late President Elson Floyd, who worked tirelessly to really turn this concept into a reality. And so tonight, it's a great reminder to many of the folks that have been at Washington State far longer than I have about how exciting it's been to build a brand new medical school from scratch, to have our first class last year, to celebrate our second class coming in this year. And for the university, it brings some opportunities for our faculty to work in creative research areas that prior we just didn't maybe have the faculty colleagues that we needed to do some of the exciting things that we can today in human health care because of this college. I want to thank the Washington legislature for continuing to invest in this particular endeavor for Washington State University. When I go around the country and I talk to other presidents and chancellors about our new medical school, and so often they're trying to figure out how they're going to fund it, where they're going to get the money and all that, they're very envious of me in the state of Washington having a supportive legislature that bought into the vision of needing a second medical school in the state of Washington. I also want to provide some support and thank our community here in Spokane. It also took community leaders here willing to go out on that limb and make some things happen, and we are so thankful to be in this community and growing our medical school with the support of not just our elected officials, but the entire community who really want to see this be a health science complex for the Pacific Northwest in the coming years. Finally, let me also congratulate our second class of 60 medical students. I've become particularly worried about healthcare as I get older. So I need you all to continue your education, do great things, and keep that passion alive that brought you here as part of the Coug family. And then I also want to comment that we have an opportunity to continue to change the face of healthcare, not just in the state of Washington, but the Pacific Northwest along the West Coast. And even though there was some intense competition with our University of Washington when we were seeking approval for this medical school, we have since worked to kind of bridge that divide, and both University of Washington and Washington State are working hard to make sure that we're going to provide the needed personnel to advance healthcare in the state of Washington for the next 50 years. Then Provost Bernardo talked a little bit about Cougs, and some of you who are Washington State undergrads know this, but guess what? Now if you're a student here, you're a Coug. Doesn't make any difference where you went to school before. You can still, you can wear that purple stuff if you have it, but put some crimson on over the top. And today when we were talking to our entering class in Pullman, one of the things that we always talk about is if you're greeted by somebody that's associated with Washington State anyway, they're going to say, "Go Cougs," and they expect you to say, "Go Cougs" back. So I know you're incredibly bright men and women, but we're going to practice this one time. So on a count of 3, I'm going to say, "Go Cougs," and I expect to hear "Go Cougs" back. So 1, 2, 3, "Go Cougs." Okay, now everybody else has got to be quiet except for the 60 incoming students. So parents can't help here anymore. So once again, go Cougs. Okay, John, I think they're going to be pretty successful. So thank you. Congratulations.
Thanks again, Coach. Well, if you're not inspired after hearing the words from Chancellor DeWald and Provost Bernardo and President Schultz, I don't know what will. You know, they, along with the WSU Board of Regents, a whole host of legislators at the state level, the local level, at the federal level, along now with over 400 faculty, staff, and students, alongside all of our community partners, and of course, with the help of the late President Elson S. Floyd, for who the college is named after, they have all led us to this place today. So for those of you who are in the audience who have helped, let's give all of them a round of applause. Three seconds. Does that ring any bells? Did any of you listen to my white coat ceremony from last year? A few of you had. Okay, I've got a deal for you today. You're going to get a 2-for-1. You're going to get the condensed version from last year and the new version, all for the same price. So last year, I mentioned that I had a high school football coach who said, John, you can do anything for 3 seconds on the football field. Well, as it turns out for me, I couldn't do that on the football field. But as a physician, I had many 3-second moments where I had a significant impact on my patients. Sometimes I have to tell you, it wasn't a good impact. I caused some pain, I caused some suffering, and that was really hard to deal with. But I have to tell you, there were many, many more times where in those 3 seconds, I caused relief from suffering and relief from pain, and sometimes even relief from death. That's amazing. And it's so humbling. And I just want you to know you've made an amazing choice to become a physician. So what is this thing, this white coat ceremony? What's it all about? Well, the white coat is a symbol of our profession. And when you put on the white coat today, it's your commitment to not only start the journey, but to finish the journey to become a healer. It's your commitment to become a part of the solution for the healthcare challenges that face rural and underserved Washington and beyond. It's your commitment to appreciate the great privilege it is to be sitting in those chairs. And it's also your commitment to understanding that your responsibility is even greater. My advice to you to keep it all in balance is wherever you go, bring a huge helping of humility along with you. Next. So who are these students? This is the part of the talk where I would love to have these students close their ears. Because they're a pretty humble bunch. I've got a chance to interact with them quite a bit. And I'm going to say some really awesome things about you, and I don't want your heads getting big. But why am I doing this? Because I want all of you in the audience to see a little bit of what I see, to know a little bit of what I know about this amazing group of students. So here we go. How did they get here? There were 1,200 applications this year for these 60 seats. That means they had a 5% chance to be here today. They have persevered to get here. What I know about them is they have amazing hearts. Collectively, they have given over 10,000 hours of their time of community service here in Washington and across the world. They're perseverers, and they have big hearts. They're incredibly accomplished. We have many student scholars. We have student athletes. 1/5 of our class already has an advanced degree. 1/5 of our class has already been a healthcare provider of some fashion. 30% of them come from socioeconomic disadvantaged backgrounds, and so they've faced financial adversity to get to this place. 90% of them describe growing up in a rural or underserved area. 60% of you are women. We beat the national average by 6%. "35% of these students are first generation. And I got to tell you, medical schools don't keep track of that, but if they did, we would be number one. That is an awesome thing. These guys are world travelers. They've been to over 45 different countries on all 7 continents, even Antarctica. But more than that, they're musicians, they're dancers, they're singers, they love to fish, they love to ski. But what I discovered, and I didn't know this, I guess in order to get into the college, you all have to be avid hikers, because you guys all hike all the time. Next. The last thing that you guys say about yourselves is a number of you identify as bakers. And I just want to say right now, if they're half as good as baking as they are as everything else, we're going to have lots of awesome treats at the college. So I hope that just gives you a little taste of how amazing this group of students are. And you can now see a little bit of what I see. And so now you understand or appreciate why I have so much hope for the future of healthcare in Washington, because we have 60 awesome future doctors sitting in front of us. Next. This portion of my talk is directly to the students. I know that most of you didn't get to those seats easily. Many of you face significant adversity. Many of you have persevered and pursued your dream of being a physician for years. There have been times when you've been angry, frustrated, sad. Maybe a few nights you cried yourself to sleep. But you're here. And I think you would all agree with me that a part of the reason you're here is because of some of those folks sitting out there. The folks who have loved you, who have supported you, and frankly, have probably sacrificed a lot on your behalf. So this is a moment, a brief moment, where you have an opportunity to show a token of your gratitude to all these folks. So students, if you would please stand, face the audience, and show them your appreciation. You may be seated. Thank you. Next. So this is our next class of 60 students. And what you've probably noticed is I didn't call them our second class, and I never will. Look up second in the dictionary, and this is what you'll find. Second. Subordinate or inferior in position, rank, or importance. Any of you want to be second? I don't think so. Look up the word next in the dictionary. And here's what you'll find for a definition. Any other considered hypothetically. Any other considered hypothetically. It turns out next is a pretty amazing word because next describes a future possibility, a future version of oneself, of your class, of our medical school, of our university, of our community, of our state, a future version of the patients that you all will take care of. Let me describe to you a next moment in my life. 7 years ago, I was at Chicago Medical School, and my dean left for another college. And so the president of the university came to me and asked me to serve as the acting dean. I jumped at the opportunity. It was a job I totally wanted to have. So I threw my hat in the ring for the permanent position, and for 9 months I did the job of acting dean. And then one day the president calls me into his office. I go in there with a smile on my face, and I'm so happy because I've done a great job for the last 9 months. And he sits me down in his chair and he says, "John, I want to tell you, you will not be the next dean of Chicago Medical School. We want to bring in some fresh ideas from the outside." Wow, I was devastated. It was as if he had just told me that that version of myself didn't have the right stuff to be the dean. So I went to New York Medical College, and I reinvented myself. I tried to learn more about how to become a better leader. And then a year later, I met up with a colleague from the medical school and had lunch with her. And halfway through lunch, she goes, "John, I hardly recognize you." And I sort of looked down and said, "Well, I know I've gained a few pounds." She said, "Now, that's not what I mean. You seem more confident. You seem self-assured. You seem more relaxed. You're not the John I know." She said, "You're Tom Koviak 2.0. Well, as fate would have it, I got a call from the president of that university about 2 weeks later, and he said, "I was talking to your colleague, and she said you're a different person. I would like to meet this different person." So I flew back to Chicago, and at the end of our conversation, he said, "You are a different person. You are Tom Koviak 2.0, and I think I made a mistake, and I would like you to be the dean of Chicago Medical School." This is what I think about that next period in my life. I don't think the president made a mistake. That Tom Koviak 1.0 version of myself wouldn't have been a good dean for that school at that time. But the 2.0 version, I think, did. And I can't even tell you what version I'm on today. There's an amazing book called The Power of Habit. And in it, the author describes his conception of how we are and how we go about our day. And he said, basically, we're made up of lots of habits. And think about it. We have all these habits. From the moment we get up, we have a morning habit. We have a driving habit. You don't even remember your drive half the time. A lot of things we do are habit. And he says if you want to change yourself, you need to change your habits. And he says there's 4 things that go into a habit. The first is a cue. The second is a routine. The third is a reward. And the 4th thing is a belief. So let's take something simple, like brushing your teeth. For most of us, the alarm rings, and that's the cue that we get out of bed and maybe go to the bathroom and begin the routine. Now, let's make an agreement right now. I won't share my toothbrushing routine if you don't share yours. We all probably have a little different one. But when we're done brushing our teeth, we have a reward. For most of us, it feels really good. Our mouth is tingling. It feels fresh and clean. And why do we do it? Because we have this belief that if we brush our teeth every day, we'll decrease the number of cavities we have, maybe keep our teeth into old age. That's probably a good thing. He says if you want to change yourself, if you want to get to that next version, his advice, change one habit. Take a bad habit and make it a good habit, or maybe just start a brand new habit. So I have a challenge for the students, and I have a challenge for all of you in the audience today to develop a habit that we have at the Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine. And it's a habit that is centered around thinking about priorities. We at the College of Medicine feel there are 3 priorities, and we should all follow them all the time, and they need to be in a certain order. So I'm going to ask the students to help me figure out these priorities. The first priority is? Personal health. I hope you all got that. If you don't take care of yourself, your mental well-being, your physical well-being, you won't be able to take care of someone else, another human being. It has to be your first priority. The second priority is? Family and friends. If your loved ones are hurting, if something's wrong with them, you feel it too. That's why they're your family and friends. You have to attend to them. You have to take care of them before you can move on down the priority list. So finally, we get to our third priority, and our third priority is? The job. The job for these guys is to study really hard so they can be awesome physicians. We all have jobs too, but I hope you'd agree with me, we shouldn't get to those jobs until we've taken care of priority number 1 and priority number 2. And I hope this becomes a habit for you, that you adopt these priorities, because I think you'll be not only successful in your professional life, but you'll be successful in your personal life. Next. So I've threw out a few challenges today. William Shakespeare said, "It is not in the stars that we look for destiny, but in ourselves." So what I've challenged all of you today, especially our students, is to think about that next version of yourself. And it turns out they've already done a little bit of that. So for all of you in the audience today, when these students don their white coat, behind them on the big screen, you're going to see a personal oath that each of these students have written. And in a way, it's a description of their next self, the next iteration of them, what they are aspiring to be. And I hope you pay close attention and read every single one, because I have, and they're amazing and heartfelt. So in conclusion, there's 3 or 4 things I'd like you guys to take home. The first is, there's going to be lots of 3-second moments. This is for all of us, all of you. Make those 3-second moments be good ones. There's going to be lots of firsts. And the great thing about firsts is it leads to 1,000 other firsts. So relish those firsts and pay attention to them. The next thing is, think about next. That next version of yourself. So now as I'm standing up here thinking about all of that, it seems like we got a lot of work to do. If you're like me, you're so excited. This is going to be amazing to get to all of this. So I hope you guys will agree that when you do these things, we're all going to be in a better place. Thank you. It's now my great pleasure to introduce one of my colleagues, Dr. George Novan. Dr. Novan has been an internist for his entire career, and the best way I can describe George is he is a physician's physician. What does that mean? Well, when you're a physician, you want the best doctor, the most compassionate doctor to take care of you. And we all turn to George because we know he's that person. So we're really lucky to have him share a few thoughts about the white coat and what the profession of medicine has meant to him. George.
Very kind words. Well deserved. Thank you. Wonderful speech. I heard it last year. I enjoyed it again this year. I do know what version I am before I get started. I'm version 45, which is one per year. So I've been a physician for 45 years. And I have enjoyed every single moment. Dean Koviak, honored guests, faculty, I've seen you in the audience, families, friends, students. I want to thank you for allowing me the privilege of speaking to our, and I'm going to ad-lib here, next class. You may read the word new, but I'm going to say next based on what you said. And to our next students, welcome. Today you're receiving your first white coat. Just like a stethoscope, the white coat is a recognized symbol of medicine. It'll be a constant reminder that starting today, you'll be changing not just your uniform, but your life. Classroom time will likely be the same as when you were undergrads. Your uniforms then were, I'm guessing, t-shirts, sweatshirts, jeans, and that'll probably continue. But starting now, you'll be seeing patients. You'll be in clinics and hospitals, and your uniform, your outer self, will involve wearing your white coat. So is there something special about the white coat? Actually, yes, there is. There was an interesting series of experiments conducted at Northwestern University. They used the undergraduate students as their guinea pigs for this. There were two groups of undergraduate students, each wearing identical white coats. One group was told the white coat belonged to a physician. The other group was told that it belonged to a painter. They then underwent some, they used the word tests. The results: if you wore a white coat that you believed belonged to a doctor, your ability to be careful, to be rigorous, and to be good at paying close attention improved dramatically. So please, wear your white coats when you're with your patients. You'll pay close attention. Wearing a white coat, symbolic of medicine, improved the skills needed to practice the profession. Maybe in this one instance, clothing does indeed make the individual. So what is it? Is there something special in the cloth itself? Nope. No, no, no. Where is that something special? It's in you. While we will help to empower your mind, it will be your heart and your soul that will be critical. Why? Because one of medicine's best features is that it is a healing art that depends so much on caring. There will be, trust me, plenty of times when your patients will call you doctor. You might even feel like an imposter, and you'll try to explain, I'm just the medical student, but they will still look at you as a budding physician. And the vast majority of time, they'll say these things not because of your white coat. It'll be because of you. It'll be what's in your mind, and it will be what's in your heart. Patients will sense it. You'll exemplify what the coat symbolizes when you listen, truly listen, and when you care, and when you sense what it might be like to be traveling the journey that your patient is currently on. So during these travels, I want you to soak up all the learning and experiences that are coming. I know that you will have a tremendous impact on the many lives that you will touch, and those in turn will touch you. So congratulations, congratulations on reaching this very first stage in becoming a physician. Thank you.
Awesome, Joe.
Thank you, John. Much appreciated.
It's now my pleasure to invite Danny Teraguchi, our Associate Dean of Student Affairs, and the WSU administration to the stage for the coding.
So it's my pleasure to be the Associate Dean of Student Affairs, and we'll start the cloaking procession. Marcus Ariola. Philip Bowman. Scott Davis. Alice Dong. Giselle Fernandez. Danya Hassan. Brian Hung Chen Kim. Kavya Magam. Randy Wen. Troy Sanders. Vicky Tang. Liz Thomas. Kendall Viganaroli. Amber Weiss. Jenna White. Ariana Delvin. Sarah Fielding. Carson Fuller. Aaron Johnson. Aaron Kaya. Lindsay Livingstone. Cassidy MacArthur. Taylor Ray McGuire. Sean Morton. Joshua Rayburn. Carly Reel. Owen Strom. Zachary Taylor. Taylor Wintler. Tanner Wright. Riley Beeler. Jessica Brar. Jonathan Cheng. Reagan Dieter. Alexandra Drewy. Alexandra Dule. Marlene Garcia. Charles Mitchell. Heidi Ness. Nicholas Rentala. Catherine Staudinger. Alexander Fessel. Ravneet Warich. Brooke Wilberg. Whitney Wood. Brittany Bear. Rajem Bajwaj. Tamir Bressler. Max Gruber. Stephen Menke. Aaron O'Rourke. Matthias Park. Catherine Posey Momstadt. Abarika Supru. Julia Swanson. Andrew Terrell. Nina Thatch. Nihal Thapa. Stella Hong.
I now would like to ask Dr. George Novan to come back up on the stage for the Hippocratic Oath. They have it in their program. Yeah.
Again, thank you for this honor. I would like all physicians and all students to stand to recite the Hippocratic Oath. You have it in your program, and I will read one sentence at a time, and then we can say it together, one sentence at a time. Ready? I swear in the presence of my family and loved ones, teachers and peers, that in accordance with my ability and judgment, I will keep this oath and stipulation. And I'm going to, this isn't part of the oath, and I'm going to ask that we read it together, the sentence. Otherwise, we'll be here till Monday. Okay. Second sentence. To reckon and hold all who have taught me this art, and equally as dear as my family, and in the same spirit and dedication, to impart my knowledge of the art of medicine to others. I will continue. I will continue with diligence to keep abreast of advances in medicine. I'm going to read them one at a time. You will find that medical school's a little harder than this, but I'll read it one at a time because I want the words to sink in. I will treat without exception all who seek my ministrations so long as the treatment of others is not compromised, and I will seek the counsel of particularly skilled physicians where indicated for the benefit of my patients. I will follow that method of treatments in accordance with my ability and judgment for the benefit of my patients and abstain from whatever is harmful or mischievous. I will neither treat nor carry out any research on human beings without valid informed consent, and I will cherish with the utmost respect every human life. With purity, holiness, and beneficence, I will pass my life and practice my art into whatever patient setting I enter. I will go for the benefit of the sick and will abstain from every voluntary act of mischief or corruption, and further from the seduction of any patient. Whatever in connection with my professional practice or not in connection with it that I may see or hear in the lives of my patients which ought not to be spoken, I will not divulge, reckoning that all such should be kept secret. While I continue to keep this oath inviolate, may it be granted to me to practice the art and science of medicine with the blessing and respect of my family, loved ones, colleagues, and society. But should I trespass and violate this oath, may the reverse be my lot. I will do my heartfelt best to forever be compassionate, kind, thoughtful, humble, and forgiving.
You may be seated. I have one last message that I would like to share with all of you. This morning I had the honor of talking with Carmenta Floyd, the wife of late President Elson Floyd. And she asked if I would just share a few of her thoughts, and she apologizes for not being here in person. This is what she wanted me to say to all of you. She said, if Elson were here today, he would be incredibly proud of not only you, but of all of us for continuing the legacy that he helped to build here at WSU. And she said the bar would be high and expectations would be high, but that Elson would believe that all of you would not only jump over that bar, but exceed it by a lot. She sends her best wishes, her congratulations, and all of her love. With that message, it's my privilege to introduce to you the class of 22 and their white coats. Why don't you stand up? Okay, can I get everybody to be seated? So I have one last set of instructions. In just a moment, myself and the students are going to leave the auditorium. We're going to take a group picture. If you all could wait in your seats until we have left, and then as soon as we do, you can leave, and I hope you join us for refreshments and socialization and conversation. There'll be an opportunity to take lots of pictures and to congratulate all the ones that you love. So this officially concludes the white coat ceremony. Thanks to everyone.